All right, welcome into another day of our daily Devos in the Psalms. Pastor Rick here, and I am excited to be here with you this morning, this afternoon, this evening, whatever time you're checking it out. So we're going to be in Psalm 28 today, and it's a good one. So I hope you are ready to be encouraged and strengthened, and just reminded about what a great God we serve. And so here we go. Let's jump in. Psalm 28, verse 1. Lord, I call to you, my rock. Do not be deaf to me. If you remain silent to me, I will be like those going down to the pit. Listen to the sound of my pleading when I cry to you for help, when I lift up my hands toward your sanctuary. So these first two verses, Lord, I call to you, my rock. I love I love that in the even though the cry is going out to God because he seems like he is silent and deaf at the moment, because obviously the Lord's intervention in the situation is not matching David's timeline. You would have hoped or kind of maybe even expected God to jump in and meet his situation quicker, sooner. But he recognizes, what, Lord, I don't always know what your plan is. I don't always know what the situation is. And still, even in the midst of that, maybe a little bit of disappointment or challenge going on, he still identifies the Lord as his rock. I think that's an important little thing there. Even when God is not quite, you and God aren't quite dialed in on the time frame and all that kind of stuff, that you still continue to keep your heart centered on who he is and what he has done for you. So do not be deaf to me. If you're silent to me, I will be like those going down to the pit. I'm going to die. And I thought, do I have my heart situated towards the Lord that if I don't hear from him, I feel like I'm going to die? Do I have that level of dependence on the Lord? And I actually think that dependence on the Lord is actually a really healthy thing. And so I was personally challenged by that as I was reading through this psalm. I want that to be the declaration of my heart. Like, Lord, if you don't speak to me, I am going to die. And also, I love that the thing that separates him from the people that are going to die is if you're listening to me and if you're with me and you're answering my call. God is the one that makes the difference, his presence and his response to us. All right, let's jump into verse 3. Do not drag me away with the wicked, with the evildoers who speak in friendly ways with their neighbors with malice, while malice is in their hearts. So just deceptive people that are, tricking people and being yuck. And so repay them according to what they have done, according to the evil of their deeds. Repay them according to the work of their hands. Give them back what they deserve. And because they do not consider what the Lord has done or the work of his hands, he will tear them down and not rebuild them. And I just thought, man, what a great reminder that, again, one of the things that separates from the evildoers to those who are following the Lord are those who consider what the Lord has done and the work of his hands, because I think it builds faith, and it builds faith and confidence in the Lord, because you're giving him credit for the things he's done. You're reminding yourself of the things that he's done. And it helps strengthen you and build your confidence for what he has done and what he will do. And so I think that's an important thing. Then we'll jump into verse 6. Blessed be the Lord, for he has heard the sound of my pleading. Blessed be the Lord, for he has heard the sound of my pleading. And again, there's a little bit of a shift here, because it's been kind of like, where are you? What's going on? Judge these people for me. And now all of a sudden he shifts in the psalm and starts blessing the Lord. So rather than like, okay, I've let you know where I'm frustrated. I let you know what the challenge is. And now, God, I'm shifting my heart to say, you know what? Blessed be the Lord, for he has heard the sound of my pleading. Even though my circumstances have not shifted at this point, I still trust and believe that, God, you have heard the sound, like past tense, you have heard the sound of my pleading. You are my strength and my shield. My heart trusts in him, and I am helped. Therefore, my heart celebrates. And I will give thanks to him with my song. So not only is it declaration of faith and confidence in who God is, but it's also beginning to celebrate. And I think probably a little bit of both, right? Celebrating what is coming, but also celebrating what has already come. Shifting your perspective to remember what the Lord has done, that he is good, he is faithful. So that's a pretty powerful couple, verses 6 and 7 there being a really big shift in the psalm, where it's like both things are necessary. Let your heart be true before the Lord. Let him hear the things that are going on inside, but then don't leave it there. Don't end in that place of just like, where are you, God? But begin to challenge yourself and begin to say like, no, blessed be the Lord, for you have heard the sound of my pleading. You are my strength and my shield. My heart trusts in you, and I am helped. And just begin to declare that over your situation, because it strengthens something in your heart to continue to believe and to continue to follow after the Lord, even when your circumstances are so challenging. The Lord is the strength of his people, and he's a stronghold of salvation for his anointed. And I like how this is with verse 7. Verse 7, you have like this personal, the Lord is my strength and shield. And then in verse 8, you have the corporate piece. The Lord is the strength of his people. And I love that the psalmist actually referred to both of them, because I think that that's so important to remember the personal piece of our faith journey with the Lord, but also the corporate piece that we're involved with, because both are critical. Both of them are kind of a big deal, save your people, bless your possession, shepherd them, and carry them forever. So again, just kind of declaring the goodness of God over the people of the Lord. He is the strength of his people, a stronghold of salvation for his anointed, which again would just be kind of referring to his people. It's kind of like the plural of his anointed ones. Sometimes in the Psalms, when it says you're anointed, it's referring to the king of Israel. But in this particular context, it's kind of another name for your people. Anyways, so I think that that honesty and then declaration of God's faithfulness is a really great takeaway today from this psalm, because it's like brutally honest with the Lord. Like, you seem like you're deaf and silent to me. And so what's going on, and how long is this going to happen? And I don't know if I can hang on much longer, because hearing your voice and knowing that you hear me is the only thing that separates me from those that are going to die. And then jumping in and being like, bless your name, Lord, for you have heard the sound of my pleading. You're my strength and my shield, and my heart trusts in you, and I am helped. And then my heart celebrates, and I give thanks to you with my song. Like, what a powerful declaration to the Lord. So I just want to encourage you today, whether you're on the top of the mountain or whether you're going through something really challenging, take a look at what David did in this psalm, and maybe kind of sort of write your own psalm today, your own song before the Lord, your own processing of your heart before the Lord, and just follow kind of that same pattern. Be really brutally honest, and then follow up with that shift in the middle and begin to turn your perspective and your heart towards the Lord. So with that, a big God bless you today. Have a wonderful one, and I will see you tomorrow.